Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how is everybody? Happy Monday. We're gonna cook today. We are gonna cook Gabrielle Union and her wife, Dwayne Wade. Such a lovely couple. How is everybody? My weekend was very, very good. It was restful and productive. It's very rare I can pull off restful and productive. Well, I like my salon, Miss Pearls and Miss Isada. Hey, Miss Lovebug. Yeah, Dwayne Wade make a good wife. He a good wife. He obedient. Women can learn a lot of femininity from him. He obedient. He follows the program. He a good follower. He follows the program. He is a good recipient of Gabrielle's 4 Ps. He being protected. He getting his problems solved. He getting provisions. He getting procreation. Oh. He be getting his back blown out and stuff. Oh. Y'all know y'all jealous of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne. You gotta say his name with the Z sound. He not Dwayne Wade, he's Dwayne Wade. Gabrielle seemed like a good husband. She a good husband. Sorta. You know. Y'all don't think Gabrielle a good husband? I think she a strong husband. She lead her household with conviction. What y'all talking about? She lead her household with the conviction of a man with leadership and vision. Thank you, John. Said he getting his ankles pinned back. Thank you, Top Dog. Say good afternoon, beautiful. Good afternoon. Thank y'all for kicking off the contributions. We are going to... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Drayton. I hope you get better. We're going to read the article because this is very important. Thank you, Miss Lil Casey. Yeah, Gabrielle is able to check her woman. She checks her wife. Dwayne gets checked. His place. He don't be out here wilding, making her look bad. Thank you, Theo. seen Sierra, you know, I'm going to talk about Sierra in a different video because, see, people think Russell simped because she's a single mother. That's not why he's simping. That's not the simp part. There's a simp part, but it don't have nothing to do with Lil Future. But let me share my screen. We're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to read this article. Let's read this article together, y'all. Gabrielle Union and her wife, Dwayne Wade, delivered impassioned speech advocating for alphabet rights at the NAACP Image Awards. Now, see, this is significant. This is significant because it's at the NAACP Image Awards, okay? Now, Gabrielle Union Wade and Dwayne Wade were honored with the President's Award at the 54th Annual NAACP Image Award for their philanthropic work and vocal support of the alphabet community. On the red carpet, NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson told Variety that the Wades were selected specifically for the way they've privately and publicly supported their son, Wade. I'm having a problem saying daughter because I believe he's Zaire, who came out as transgender in 2020. I love the way they stood up and are standing up for their child, Johnson explained. We have 5 kids. For me, it's very significant for a father to stand strong, a mother to stand strong in support of their child. So now, right at the beginning of the article, he's telling you, the president of the NAACP president and CEO is telling you why they got this award. Because of their transgender child and their advocacy of it. Okay, this is key. This is very important. This is not something to look over. This is not something to blow past. This is a key point, and I need y'all to remember it because this is really the crux. The special honor came just one day after the 15-year-old was granted the right to legally change name and gender. He is now legally known as Zaya Malachi, a male name. Aramis spelled it wrong, Wade. And I'm saying spelled it wrong because Aramis is a Greek name of a Greek goddess. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. I'm thinking of Artemis. Anyway, moving on. For his portion of the speech, Wade used the opportunity to speak directly to Zaya, thanking his child for opening his eyes to how to be a better advocate. As your father, all I've wanted to do was get it right, he began. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken on public scrutiny that y'all exposed the child to. But y'all brought it out into the public. Y'all could have handled this privately until that child was legally grown. And then they come out and say whatever they want to say publicly. No, y'all did it for clout and for other things. Even though it's not easy, I watched you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world. I admire that you face every day. To say that your village is proud of you is an understatement. I'm not gonna play the clip. As the camera zoomed in closer, Wade continued thanking his child for showing him how to better communicate. As your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. It's not. See, this is as your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. What's the point if that's not what you're supposed to be doing as a parent? That you do help direct your child's future They don't direct it themselves. They're children. That they're growing up. They're looking to you for the guidance. Guidance of what? Their lives. Anyway, my role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Zaya, you've made me a better human just simply by being who you were born to be, a baby girl. Really. That right there says so much. That right there says so much. I don't even know if we should even touch what that says. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm proud that I was so baby, thank you for showing the world what courage looks like. I'm proud that I was chosen to stand in place as your father, and thank you so much, NAACP, for this incredible honor. When Union Wade took the microphone, when his husband took the microphone, she first spoke to NAACP's work to advance the lives of black people. Now, remember what the acronym NAACP stands for. We're going to talk about it. Paying respect to an organization that has led us through over a century of relentless challenge, pain, triumph, and change. And now stands with us again at the foot of a very new era of activism, a new era that demands our collective answer to one simple question. And that question, will we fight for some or will we fight for all of our people? Let's just name a couple hard truths. Union Wade continued as the crowd settled down their applause. First, the intersection of black rights and the rights of the alphabet, trans, and gender non-conforming people continues to be rough. That's a huge understatement. Even as we demand equality at the top of our lungs, we consistently fail to extend our advocacy to protect some of our most vulnerable among us. Second, she said black trans people are being targeted, terrorized, and hunted in this country every day, everywhere, and there's rarely a whisper about it. The couple's work supporting the alphabet community, she said, is less about them being activists or leaders as much as it is about being parents who love our children and will do whatever we can to keep them seen and secure and safe. She explained, this is a conversation worth having in ways that can actually build bridges, that don't fan the flames of hatred or division, that don't enable lawmakers or justice systems to look the other way when black trans people are under attack. They don't drive more young people to hate themselves or harm themselves, that don't cost people their lives. Union Wade concluded her speech with a focus towards the future, saying that they're hopeful that we may witness a real shift in the fight for justice the moment the movement makes room for everyone. Following their impassioned on-stage remarks, the couple spoke to reporters backstage, opening up about their process of writing the speech. There's a lot of people who speak on my daughter's name, and I speak on things. I've never spoken to her publicly in front of everyone. Wade told Variety. So I just wanted her to know how proud we were, but also we're standing up here because of her. She's taught us how to lead. She's taught us how to live, and your kids can make you better people. I mean, it's an amazing thing, so just proud of her. Wade added that they had considered the timing of the award presentation, becoming the 30th individuals to receive the President's Award on the heels of Zaya's legal win on Friday. Yesterday was a big day for Zaya, and we wanted to make sure that the person who kickstarted us to even have an opportunity to be on this stage had heard directly from us. Union Wade almost skipped the award ceremony after learning that her father, Sylvester E. Union, is ill, sharing she woke up Saturday morning in the news that he was fighting for his life against unspeakable odds in the hospital. I was tempted to just be like, you got this. I don't think I could keep it together, she said, turning to her wife. And when Wade said the word father, talking about what kind of father he is, my dad raised 3 daughters and raised us all to be warriors. He had a saying, don't start none, won't be none. But if they started, you better be the person finishing it. And knowing that we didn't start racism, we didn't start sexism, misogyny, no mention of misandry, anti-trans rhetoric and violence, but we are going to be part of the army working to dismantle it. That's what it had to be about. Union Wade then spoke to her passion on stage, saying people often question her, asking, why are you so angry all the time? All the time, Gab, aren't you ever happy? Her response, yeah, but it's easy to celebrate the easy stuff. It's hard to be the person that says the hard thing, the truthful thing, and leads with radical transparency. And it can be alienating. It can cost people opportunities, but no opportunity that would be willing to walk away from us, from me, from him, from Zaya, from anyone that actually uses their platform for good. That's not an opportunity you want. As the mass of reporters and photographers nodded in agreement, she concluded her answer. So we stand 10 toes down day in and day out, and we're just trying to encourage as many other people to get real comfortable standing 10 toes down for all Black people. I love how they tried to make it about Black people at the end. Okay. Let me go back up. Oh, thank you, Abdul Aleen. Thank you so much. Michael, for your contribution as well. Thank you, Ahmed Oz. NAACP has been promoting the worst image of Blacks for the last 2 decades at least. Yes, and we are going to talk about that. Rugged Techie, thank you. So I've always said Gabrielle is a dedicated monkey winch, a woman that's thrown into your life and destroys everything you were or could be. Thank you so much, Rugged Techie. Thank you. Eugene said this is a demonstration of another way of running away from God's divine assignments. God has specific assignments for men and women. Exactly. And thank you all for all of y'all contributions. I really greatly appreciate each and every last one of them. Okay. First of all, before we get on other things, prior to this award winning, Zaya, they successfully provided a way for their son to legally become their daughter and to have a legal change of sex versus the biological change. So she had a legal sex change. So legally on every document that will identify who Zaya is, and they do allow you, I don't know if it's state to state, but I know that at least in some states they do allow transgender people to turn back their birth certificate, which I think is ridiculous because your birth certificate is supposed to be a factual document that was true at the time of your birth. Not, you should be able to go back in retrospect and change information that is on your birth certificate. Because any other way, any other time you change stuff on your birth certificate, that would be fraudulent. No, there was no surgery. This was a legal thing. Okay? So now we go back to the birth certificate. You can alter, of course, your, state IDs and any other legal document. The boy's mother, and I don't know much about Dwayne Wade's relationship with her or who she was within that relationship. I don't keep up if they ever had a big public thing going on. I don't know about that. But I will say that she was trying to legally fight that transition, that legal transition. She did not want Zaya to legally become recognized as a female at least until the child was 18, where they could legally make that decision on their own. This is a minor that we're talking about. Okay? This is a child that has been allowed environmentally through the institution to alter their gender. If it's so many different, let me spin off for a second. If it's so many different genders, why everybody just be men and women? Why do men become women and women become men and don't nobody become nothing else other than that? If it's so many different genders, if the things that are being talked about and taught in these little woke institutions now about it's fluid and it's a whole bunch of different genders, but it's only 2 seconds, why come everybody just be a man or a woman? Riddle me that, Batman. Aside from that, we had this young teenager go through a legal sex change, can't legally consent to sex. Let's think about what they can't legally do. Cannot legally consent to sex. If somebody has sex with that little boy, they're going to jail for statutory. Thank you, Tall Hair Side Kendra. It's been a minute. Still trying to clone you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the generous donation. Thank you so much. Cannot legally consent to sex. Cannot legally drink. Cannot work to the capacity of an adult due to child labor laws. So there's restrictions on how many hours a minor can actually work in this society, unless they're emancipated from their parents. Give me one moment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris the Rebel. Says it's going to be a lot of sad young adults because woke places can't give outcomes. If they old enough to change gender, they need jobs in M16s then. Exactly. Can't legally consent to any sex. Can't legally drink or go to a bar. Still restricted by child labor laws unless he is emancipated from his parents. So there are laws against how long minors can work, where they can work, things of that nature. Can only legally drive conditionally, with permits and such. Cannot own certain things or do or have complete mobility in society because he is a minor. However, does have the wherewithal to make this decision that is going to affect everything in the rest of his life, his entire trajectory in life, going to be affected greatly and heavily by this decision, that he's supposed to have the wherewithal to make that decision, but not the wherewithal to consensually say, I want to have sex with someone else. Or consensually say, I have the wherewithal to go and drink or smoke or do whatever it is, everything that every sane adult in the United States is able to do, then I am also able to do those things. He's not legally, he's not able to do that. Yet, he's able to change his gender, at least in a legal sense. Able to change that gender. No one wants to talk about how that actually makes it worse for people who are actually experiencing gender identity dysphoria. That the transition, especially the physical transition, the hormones, all of that type of stuff, that actually makes it worse for them. So many of them detransition later in life. So many of them really, as once they become adults, they hate the fact that their parents supported that for them and allowed them to make certain decisions that would affect their life so profoundly because they weren't mature enough to make that decision on their own, and they said that they would not have ever made that decision once they became adults and understood the different dynamics that was involved with that. They would never have done it. Those who have a physical transition, go under the surgical procedures and all that type of stuff, have a myriad of medications that they have to take the rest of their life. And they hate that. They hate it because it consumes them. All the medication, all the therapy, all of the physical therapy, all of the emotional mental therapy, all of the things that go along with that consumes their life to the point where they are not living the way that the institution and the educational and the medical community and all that told them that they would be able to live if they made these transitions. Oh, you'll be free. You'll be able to live in the body that you were meant to live in because you're a woman in your soul or you're a man in your heart and blah, 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 blah. So we're just going to make the outside match the inside. And once these things match, the gender dysphoria goes away and you're able to live your life happy and fulfilled like everybody else because the outside of the package will match the inside of the package. This is wrong. 9 times out of 10. The transgender people themselves will tell you this is not something I'm guessing at. I'm going by the word of the people that are actually in that community that actually make these transitions in their life and say, no, I want to detransition away now because I'm an adult now and I don't like this. I don't have that same thought. I'm not really a transgender. I don't really know what was going on with me when I was a teenager or whatever, but I'm 20 something now. I'm 30 something now. And I know that I was born physically a man. I'm a man, not a woman. I don't even wear women's clothes. I don't identify as that anymore. Yet, I've gone through the surgery. My parents allowed me to go through a surgery at 15, go through hormones at 12, and all of that type of stuff. Now, my body really is confused, but my mind is not confused no more. But now I'm in turmoil because the quality of my life is so bad that I don't know how to live. And they do delete themselves. Thank you, Dotacon said, here for the good food. Thank you, Cece. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Kosher Clinician. Say hello, sis. Check your email for confirmation this week. Thanks. No problem. Will do. Will do. Now, coming away from that part, we're going to go into a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to cook the real reason why there was an award given to them specifically at the NAACP Image Awards. This is important, y'all. This is important. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Average game truck parties are a virus, but gamer versus gamer is the cure. Gamer versus gamer. Gamer versus gamer. Gamer versus gamer. Gamer versus gamer.
Happy birthday.
Gamer versus gamer. Gamer versus gamer.
Gamer versus gamer. We look forward to treating your child like the most important kid in the world on their birthday.
Hi, Gamer versus Gamer. Thank you so much for my birthday party.
Hopefully you all enjoyed that. If you or friends and family are in the Atlanta metropolitan area and you have children with birthdays coming up, then that message was for you. I love working with the great people at Gamer versus Gamer simply because of the values that the company holds, the family values, its focus on fathers being the heroes in their children's lives that are going to arrange these wonderful, memorable love letters and birthday parties to their child at a time in the child's life where they're going to take that memory and they're going to take that memory and have it for the rest of their lives. And they're going to cherish their dads for being the ones to arrange it, because so many times we leave it to the mom, which is wonderful. Many mothers plan wonderful birthday parties. Dads sometimes get left out of the loop of that simply because it can become kind of tedious. It can become a little overwhelming for some men, and they rather just put out the money and have somebody else to, arrange it. Well, here's the thing. All that you have to do in order to provide your child with one of the greatest experiences on their birthday that they're going to ever have, all you have to do is click the link at the top of the chat, Gamer versus Gamer. Go to their website, check out all of the wonderful amenities and the things that you're going to receive and that your child is going to receive as a result of you hiring them to help celebrate your child's birthday. Okay, this is an elite service, and it's so much more than video games in a trailer. They come to you with a 30-foot trailer where the party is held. The family, the friends, the children are all there showing up, and Gamer versus Gamer handles everything, including the catering, all of the facilitating gift giving, and all of these wonderful different things to make your child's birthday unique among their friends. They'll be talking about it in school. Everybody will want to hang out. So what you need to do is hit the link at the top of the chat, gamerversusgamer.com, especially if you or family or friends are in the Atlanta metropolitan area, and definitely provide your child with their very own love letter. Before we get back to the cook, I want to owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to because we have 328 wonderful people who have hit the like button. Let's see if we could get the other 400 people to hit the like button as well. We're going to get back into it. Thank you, Lydell said on the wood. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Stardust said the Most High is going to get them for defiling the innocence of that young brother. Yeah. Thank you to Renzo said A. Pronounce it as I. Legal and illegal are psychologically the same word, although sound linguistically different as it's a trick of the tongue. But illegal in the country is represented equals transformation, and it's deleting us via alchemy. Thank you so much, Terenzo. Okay, we're going to get back to this cook. Put in the chat for me, what does NAACP stand for? It was founded in 1909, and the NAACP is an acronym that stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, founded in 1909. The advancement of colored people. This is the advancement. This right here. In a long time ago, in a land far, far away, the NCAA, when you thought of the NCAA, not the NCAA, y'all know what I'm trying to say, the NAACP, when we thought of the NAACP, we thought of an organization that represented the values and the upliftment and the progression of Black people as a whole. Okay? When we think of the NAACP, we used to think of an organization that stood for the values collectively, the progression of Black people as a whole. It was an organization that would help you fight for your civil rights. It was an organization you could turn to as a Black person in this country, and you could receive advocacy whenever your civil rights were violated. Almost sort of like the ACLU for Black people. You understand what I mean? But for the last few decades, they have been anything but that. Anything but that. They have represented the lost value system for Black people for decades now. And this is one of their crowning achievements in that road. Thank you, H. Lewis. I'm 33 and I still consult my father for guidance. I dread the day he's gone. What is Dwayne and his husband talking about? When Black people used to think of the NAACP, we used to think of an organization that would advocate for us. But now look at what it advocates for us. Look at what the NAACP really advocate. Not what you imagine it to advocate or what it might used to stand for in the minds of Black people collectively, but what it actually stands for and what it actually is promoting for Black people. It is promoting, first of all, the award ceremony is called the NAACP Image Awards. What's image in the 10 life value system? What's the image? Which value is that? It's the appearance value. Thank you. So the NAACP awards you for your appearance value. And who did they give the President's Award to? And why? They gave it to Gabrielle and her wife, Dwayne Wade, specifically for how they have been publicly handling Zaya and the transgender agenda with their own child. Mind you, this is not Gabby's child. This is Siobhan's child that she had with Dwayne. Dwayne has custody, but he don't got no power. And I don't think he want none. Fought Siobhan, which is that boy's biological mother, when she said, do not do this in the court. Do not legally allow a legal transition as a minor. At least let him get grown so he can make his own decision about it when he's older and has more maturity and has more autonomy and can make a decision like that. No. Fought Siobhan tooth and nail, won, and was able to legally do so. This is what you call utilizing the environment to persuade the biology, which then persuades the culture. This is how they use and reinforce the lost value system to Black people. It is always reinforced. This is the image that they want us to have. This is the entity that at the NAACP is the entity that they used to give this award. This wasn't a white-based award ceremony. This was a ceremony that was supposed to be targeted specifically to a Black audience. And what do they parade in front of us? The debauchery and the foolishness and the breaking of our community. That is what is being rewarded. That's what the reward was for. The reward was due to this family representing everything that the lost value system represent. And this is supposed to be something that the Black community aspire to. A masculine Black woman, a submissive, effeminized Black man, and to effeminize a Black man at the base level, which is a boy, not even to make him effeminate, but to make him a full-on woman. A Black boy in his adolescence, to make him a full-on woman, not effeminate, not a little, not a little sassy, as they call it, but a woman. And that his life is better for him as a woman than it would have ever been as a Black man. Actually convincing us that our Black boys' lives are better lived if he is a female. And if he can't be a female, then it's better not to birth him in the world at all. Because if he's masculine, then that means that he's going to be the catalyst for the ruination of our community. We cannot have a masculine Black man. Thank you, drunk man. Said, when I seen that foolishness, I immediately canceled the NAACP, just like I canceled BET. This madness has got to stop. Thank you so much. And we don't think that there's an issue with Black masculinity. We see a hyena tell you that Black masculinity is in trouble because Black masculinity is toxic. It's not in trouble because it's toxic. It's in trouble because they're trying to make it go extinct. Because the way to extinct us as a race, as a group, is to neuter or delete the men out of it. To neuter them or delete them. Because if our men start thinking that they gotta be girls And they're allowed to do that at young ages, and they are going to gender affirming doctors and gender affirming therapists, and they have gender affirming parents, and they have and they all tell that kid it's okay to lop off his boy parts. He's neutered. In a biological sense, neutered, gone. Thank you, Stardust said, it is through God by command has withdrawn every other throne, and God is saying, no, these people will deal with me alone. Judgment draws nigh. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Despite the fact that it has been scientifically proven over and over and over that you cannot change genders. Biologically, mentally, you can't do it. It can't be done. It actually ruins the person. It ruins them, especially in childhood. If you watch that documentary, What is a Woman, by Matt Walsh, there's an individual that he interviews, that he speaks with. And this is a trans man. It was a woman that transitioned into a man. And that individual was sitting with Matt Walsh and said, sitting there looking like a dude, looking like a complete man, and said, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I just look like a man. My life has become exponentially more difficult now that everybody perceives me as a man. My life hard. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's so many leagues away from what I thought it was going to be. I'm so unhappy. See, now that I'm older, I understand I'm a woman. At the core of me, no matter what I look like, I am a woman. I'm a woman. And I understand. Now I get it. She wasn't confused no more. This is after all them surgeries, double mastectomies, getting the uterus removed, all of that. All of that. Now to come to, I really am a woman. I'm actually a woman. No matter which body part I lopped off, I'm a woman. No matter which body part I had them remove, I'm a woman. I'll never be a man. This now Zaya Wade, a little black boy, is the poster child for something that we are now supposed to celebrate. The complete destruction of our family through gender and role reversal and gender erasure, specifically of the men. And we ain't in trouble. We ain't in trouble. We not going extinct. Thank you, Stardust. I remember that one white woman that lived like a man, documented and ended up erasing herself because of how impossible it was. She did not recover. It was years after the fact. And she was still dealing with the repercussions of that, the complication of that. Oh, gender is fluid. Masculinity is fluid. And this is fluid. And that's fluid. No, it's not. No, it is not. There may be levels to it, but it's not fluid. You are either in your masculine energy or you are in your feminine energy. And both of them are in energy. You know, it's starting to be so crazy. I'm gonna get back on the bioculturon part of this component because that's actually the most important component of this. But I saw a clip of Jeffree Star. Y'all know who Jeffree Star is, a white guy, and he dresses in drag all the time. I don't be agreeing with nothing Jeffree Star do or say. Interestingly enough, I found one clip I did agree with him. And he was sitting there saying how stupid the they, them, those, all that pronoun stuff. He was like, no, this is stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. He was like, you either a man or you a woman. It ain't no thee, they, them. You are a he or you are a she. It is one or the other. Not all this other stuff. Stuff they done sat up there, was bored in the pandemic and made that up. He was like, that there ain't no such thing. That don't make no sense. Thank you again, H. Lewis said, ask the men in Ukraine how fluid gender is. Exactly. He was like, it make no sense. He said, and a straight person can't say that. He said, it take me, somebody like me that's already in the lifestyle, that's already a part of the LGBT community and stuff like that, to say how stupid that is. That is actually stupid. He said, now see, straight folks can't say that because then you be homophobic and you're transphobic. And he said, you're not phobic, you just know it's stupid. It is stupid. Because you either a man or you a woman. Jeffree Star, as he said that, was in a pink wig and outlandish makeup. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Bureau says, sadly, the heterosexual black male is under constant attack. It's constant. It's constant. And you know what? I am going to charge up black women about it. I'm charging up black women about this because it was black women that was advocating so hard for the LGBT community. Even when we talked about Black Lives Matter, that I figured out was not even really a real organization. But if you go to their website, they exist in theory. If you go on their website and you check the mission statements, it's got all to do with the LGBT. All of its founders were lesbians. All of the money that they had went to LGBTQ, foundations and movements and all of this other type of stuff and organizations. That's all it was about, to promote a lifestyle where black men were obsolete and deleted out of the picture, whether that was environmentally, culturally, or biologically, or all three. How do you extinct a species? On the biological level, you do that when you stop the capacity for that species to breed, so that they cannot recover in a biological sense from the possibility of becoming extinct. So you have eugenics, you have injecting of diseases, you have extreme birth control or termination, putting Planned Parenthoods everywhere. You separate the men and the women. You divide them among gender lines. You make them hate each other. They don't have good interpersonal relationship. And the transformation of the gender, which is a spay or a neuter. That helps to breed us out, to make us weak, to fill us with diseases, both physically and mentally, to get the men to hate the women and vice versa, and to dehumanize one another. Culturally, you do this through ethics, through the social policy, supporting the programming. When we're unable to survive in the changing conditions, being ostracized, the hatred, the fear, being marginalized. When we have chronic fatherlessness, when we have chronic homelessness, undereducated, the incompetence, then we talk about extincting them on an environmental level through legal, through law, through the institution, through the policies. When laws and policies are created and enforced that support the culture that has been corrupted by the corrupt biology, a species becomes extinct by the taking of land, the poisoning of water, Flint, Jackson, the polluting of the air, the removal of food sources. When you're confined to the ghettos and to poverties and to prisons. Thank you again, Stardust. Oh yes, black woman, you've been indicted. This is on you. Thank you, Black Goku. They can try to erase black men all they want, but what they don't realize is that black men can create a new community. It's been done before. They can create a new community. That's the purpose of getting rid of the men. That's always been the purpose of getting rid of the men. Because if you get rid of the men, you get rid of the whole race. You get rid of the men, you get rid of the whole kit and caboodle. Whole thing gone. That's how you get rid of it. And how are they getting rid of it? Why is Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union, and Zaya Wade the quintessential black family? Because they mix it. They're married, right? It's not a broken home. At least it ain't a broken home. You know what I mean? Because we have so many broken homes. At least they not a broken home. But are they? Are they not a broken home? They certainly not a functional home. You got a successful wife and husband. Both have been successful in their respective careers. They have money. They have wealth. They have resources. They don't live in the ghettos. They don't live in the hoods. Dwayne Wade is not some kind of thug or gangster. Gabrielle is not somewhere, on a stripper pole or walking the street. Their children are growing up in the best possible environment. Look at them. Their goals, that's goals. According to the trajectory of white supremacy, how it ends up for black people, that the Wade family is goals. It's goals because it ends you. It's goals because it ends you. There's no legacy there. There's nothing there but death and extinction. There's nothing there but generational curses that are going to be passed down. Zaya is confused and nobody's there to help. Everybody's confirming the confusion instead of allowing him to be Zaire. And then he make a decision on his life when he's mature enough to make a decision on his life. Because 9 times out of 10, they change that when they get grown. They change that. This is the image that they want black people to strive for. A family that appear to be a family, but they are even more dysfunctional. Thank you again, Stardust, and verily, verily, the dead shall surely bury the dead. Thank you again. This is why black people are in trouble. And then we look for, this is why people was so up in arms about the Rihanna cover. Because once again, you had black men not in their rightful position being depicted. Pictures are powerful. They attack us using these things. And then we will justify the attack, the psychological attack we went through, by saying, oh, they just rich people, or it's just a joke, or it's just, why y'all worried about them? And why? See, all the excuses. You're not understanding that you're being psychologically attacked, that the subversion is real, that the lost value system continues to be supported and reinforced with you. Thank you, Lady T said this child is still going through puberty. What are they doing? Ruining them. Going through puberty, it's been scientifically proven that that putting a prepubescent child or a pubescent child through hormone blockers and all of that type of stuff ruins them biologically and physically and mentally. It ruins them. The science, they'll come out with the science that will speak the truth. They'll introduce it to the public and then tuck it away and then tell you something else, gaslight you into a different belief, and you go with it. And they won an award at what's supposed to represent a prestigious black organization or predominantly black organization like the NAACP. That's why it was important that they be given an NAACP Image Award. That's why. They saying a lot by giving it to you, an Image Award. This is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. This is what they mean in 2023 by advancement. This is your advancement. This is the family of the future. This is the black family of the future. One that has no future. You can be married, but you still gonna be out of whack because the woman gonna be the man and the man gonna be the woman. In a cultural sense and a biological sense. Culturally speaking, Gabrielle is the husband and Dwayne is the wife. This is the culture of their marriage. It's not happened biologically. It did not happen environmentally, but it did happen culturally. It did happen socially. And then the reason why we talk about Zaya and not the other children is because Zaya embodies that reversal on a biological level and a social level, and now on a legal environmental level. That's why he the poster child for what black children and black parents are supposed to want for their children, and for what black children, specifically black boys, are supposed to want for themselves. This is why the imagery of effeminate black men are always promoted. And if black men image is to be masculine, it is always dysfunctional. So do you understand? So a masculine black man is always going to be portrayed and depicted as a thug or some other miscreant of the community. He's never going to be represented as a masculine black man that takes care of his family, that loves his children, and things of that nature. That can never be the image of black men, ever. Anytime black men are depicted in their masculine energy, it is always as some type of criminal. He's on the wrong side of the tracks, as they used to say. He's always a criminal. He's always a thug. He's always a pookie. He's always, he's always, or he's abusive. Maybe he's not a thug or anything like that. He's successful, but he's abusive. He's narcissistic. He's some type of monster. He's a sexist. He's he's a misogynist. He's a womanizer. He's a cheater. He's a philanderer. He's got some fatal character flaw. Thank you again, Black Goku Zero. So these are the same people complaining about black men not protecting them. Exactly. Thank you, Utah McIntyre said black men will be blamed for all this because we're men. We didn't protect the community and family, not upholding God's laws and commandments. Did you agree with that, Sister Day? Well, black men are going to be blamed because when are black men not blamed? But my channel isn't talking about whether or not black men have a responsibility in the destruction of the black community, because the men will tell you that the men have an accountability in the downfall of the black community. Would I be correct about that, men? Would not the men understand that there are those black men who contribute to the downfall and the destruction of the community? We was just talking about 7 baby mamas and 7 kids. But what we don't examine is what role black women played in that as well. Like I said before, I don't ignore. It's not that I don't know that there are black men who are just as steeped in the lost value system as any hyena. And he perpetuates his dysfunction throughout the community in his own way. He contributes to the delinquency of himself and everybody around him. Because he should be a leader, but he is ill-equipped to be a leader, and he doesn't want that position anyway. See, we've already examined for decades now the faults and flaws and the shortcomings of black men. See, we've understood that already. For decades, black men have been under the microscope to talk about the leadership they lack and how they're lacking in this area and that area and all of that type of stuff. See, decades have gone by where we have looked at that. And everybody, including black men, can acknowledge it. and say, yeah, as a group of men, collectively, black men have dropped the ball here and here and here and here. That you get, it's all over everywhere. Thank you, Veronica. But what we can't talk about is what ball did black women drop? Where they dropped the ball at. See, the guy with 7 kids and 7 baby mamas dropped the ball. He's not worth the salt going bread as a man. But neither were the women that dealt with him, that chose to deal with him. Thank you, Louisiana. But what we gonna do? Give me 1 second. Thank you so much for your patience. But we're gonna go ahead and end this off. Wrap this up. Thank you everyone for your generous contributions. I definitely appreciate it. But these are the things that we have to understand. This is why it's so important to understand biology, culture, and environment, because we have to understand it. We got to be able to see it when it happened, not in retrospect, but presently, in real time, so that we won't be as affected by it in real time without understanding what is affecting us. Why do we keep remaining in this loop of failure and misery and poverty and impoverished mind and impoverished heart and impoverished pocket? Why are we destabilized as a community, and how to get back? We have to embrace traditional values. We have to, and this is why the value system is so important, because we at minimum have to use it as the measuring tool that it is. We at least have to understand how to arrange our lives, or how to think about the arrangement of our lives, so that we can measure where we are and where we want to go. Only with a complete understanding are we able to think about things in a way that actually moves us forward, so we can see the pitfall, so we can see the trick and the trap coming and avoid it, not have to fall into it and then figure out how to dig our way back out, which is what we're doing right now. Even to the point of getting us both to say, men and women, black men and black women, to say we don't want families. We don't want marriages. We don't want children. We don't want unions. That's the result of the so-called gender war. That's the result of that. So that we won't even have the desire to get together with one another to begin with, to have children in a constructive way and in a functional environment. But I'm gonna cut it short because I can keep going. But I want to thank everyone for the generous contributions, for coming in, for hitting the like button for me to, listen to me today. Let me see if we got any cash apps, because I want to be able to give a shout out to cash apps. Okay. No Cash Apps today, which is fine. But thank you for all of your super chats. Also, before we sign out, I drop new content every week on my Patreon, and it is different content than what is had on the panel. For those of you who have the $20 patron, put a 1 in the chat if you find that information to be helpful to you and educational to you. Just go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. If you want to join the Patreon, please go ahead and do so. The link is in the description box. Also, I would like one of my mods to put the link to the Patreon as well. The $5 Patreon is just for monetary support. The $20 Patreon, though, is where you get the exclusive content and all of the things that you need to hear, the practical ways to improve ourselves, our relationships, our lives, according to the 10 life values and beyond. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.